Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera. We just wanted to start off today by saying thank you for watching our channel and for leaving us comments that encourage us to keep creating content that you will find helpful. My goal is to provide recipes that are tasty but not fussy. And if you're anything like me, you don't have all day to slave in the kitchen. The recipes I share with you are recipes that I use to feed my family. Now, I started this channel originally because people always assumed that the dishes I made were complicated. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, I don't do complicated. And that's where Simple, Ordinary, and Joyful comes in. All of my recipes are simple, using ordinary ingredients that your whole family will enjoy. And by eating at home and creating these tasty meals, that means saving you a ton of money by not eating out. While holidaying this past week, we found that we had to eat out a few times. And I have to say that some of the sandwiches or burgers that we had were not like the typical burgers you would have, like a hamburger or a chicken burger, but they were different in that they had different toppings, and the whole balance of flavor and mouth texture was just amazing.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't the usual or traditional burger with the lettuce and tomato and onion and or even bacon, but it's the different things that they added to create those that elevated taste.
So today I am making a pulled pork sandwich, and I hope by adding some condiments and toppings, it will just elevate that sandwich into more than just your usual pulled pork sandwich. So part of the way to elevate the taste of your pulled pork is to brown it on saute mode in the Instant Pot instead of just a dump and go. So we're gonna preheat by pressing saute. I'm adjusting it to more. And I'm gonna cut up my pork into 2-inch cubes. And I have a pork shoulder here, the bone in, but you don't have to use bone in. It's just, this was cheaper than the other cut, which was boneless.
Thanks for saving us money, Flo.
Well, I hope so. I don't know how much this bone is worth. So it doesn't matter if you get the one with the bone in, because when we cook this, it's going to be fall off the bone anyways, and the bone will just add a little bit more flavor. You probably have to do this in a couple of batches. I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. Now, if you want, you can do a rub and rub it all over the pork, but this is going to be just as tasty. Okay, maybe not just as tasty. And when you add more spices, of course, it's going to elevate the flavor some more, but I'm just going to do salt and pepper to make this simple. Because even if you don't add all of the, like a spice rub, you're still going to end up with a very tasty meal. And that's all we're going for, a tasty meal. The pot is hot, and I'm going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, that was 2 tablespoons.
You don't want to be misleading at all.
No. Okay, I'm just going to move it around, make sure the oil is all over the bottom of the pot. I put the seasoned side down in the oil, so now I'm going to season the other side. So we're browning about 3 minutes aside. If it's browned evenly, it shouldn't stick too much. And if it is, you just leave it on for another minute or so. You're only just browning them, but it smells so good right now. Once they've been browned on both sides, just remove them and put them in a clean bowl and set them aside to do the second batch. Good enough. I'm just going to cancel the heat because it's getting pretty hot in there, but I am going to add 3 cloves of smashed garlic. So I just smashed it with the back of a knife, and I want it to brown just a little bit. And I'm going to add because we have so much bourbon.
Oh, guys. Yeah.
I'm going to use the rest of the wild turkey. There's only about, I don't know, like a tablespoon in there.
Yeah, what could it hurt?
And to deglaze the bottom of the pot. Whew. And I'm going to add about a quarter cup of chicken broth. And finish deglazing the bottom. You want to scrape off all the brown bits because you don't want the pot to think that you're burning stuff at the bottom. Otherwise it will say burn or overheat. And look at that. All the stuff comes right off.
And you want those brown bits to incorporate into the food.
Yeah, because that's where all the tasty bits are. Add another quarter cup. So altogether you have about half a cup of chicken broth plus your tablespoon of bourbon. And I'm going to put the pork pieces back in, and I think you can get them into one layer. Pour in the juices. And I am just going to use my favorite barbecue sauce, which is this sweet mesquite by Guy Fieri. And I'm going to use about half the jar, and I'm just going to pour it right over top of the pieces. All right, that's about half. I'm not going to stir it or anything. I'm just going to let it sit like that. Pressure cook.
You need the lid.
Don't forget to put the lid on. Locking it into place. Making sure the sealing knob is on sealing. And we are going to pressure cook on high for 45 minutes. Smells yummy already. See you in a bit. While the pork is cooking, I'm just going to make a simple coleslaw that will top the sandwiches. And while I was at the store today, the cashier dropped my cabbage and it made a gouge. And then she felt really bad and she offered for me to just go get another one, but I couldn't be bothered. So I just took it off and I'm going to use the rest of it. This is a little bit anyways. What are they going to do with the cabbage?
Chuck it, I guess.
Probably. I'm taking off the core. Now it's just going to be cabbage. If you want, you can add red onions or carrots, shred some carrots with it too, but I'm going to keep it simple. You'll probably end up with more than what you actually need. So you can also serve this on the side. It's a little bit of salad to go with your pulled pork sandwiches. To make the dressing, I'm just going to blend everything using my hand blender. So I'm going to start with a quarter cup of mayo, because that's what I have left in this jar. Quarter cup sour cream. I'm going to chop up one green onion. I'm chopping it up because sometimes I find with the hand blender that the strands can get caught in the spinning part of it.
You mean the blades?
Same with the cilantro. I'm just going to chop it up. And I probably have about 2 tablespoons worth here. One's chopped. 1 clove of garlic. And I have 1 jalapeno. I'm only going to use half of it, and I'm going to take the seeds out too. Yeah. Scared me. I'm just going to chop this in half, and I'm only using half the jalapeno. I think I said that already. And I'm going to wash my hands after I've touched this, because if you touch your eyes or anything, it'll burn. If you want added heat, you can toss the seeds in there too, but we're just going to go with the pepper itself. I'll be right back. And juice from 1 lime. My mouth is already watering. Just a good pinch of salt and pepper. And just using a hand blender, you can just blend it all together. All right, and you're just going to pour it over your cabbage. Just mix it up. It smells so yummy. It's gonna be perfect with the pulled pork. And while you're still waiting for your pork, you can put this in the fridge to keep it cool. All right, I quick released the pressure. And everything in there is looking super yummy.
And it smells amazing.
It does. I'm gonna remove the pork pieces. And what I'm going to do is thicken the sauce. So I'm going to, okay, let's remove the pork first. I'm also taking out the pieces of garlic that I see. Remember, I put 3 cloves of garlic in there. And here's that bone. See, it just falls off the bone. So saute mode, adjust it to high, and just let it boil off a bit and to reduce, maybe by half if we can. But you know I'm gonna be completely impatient, so I'm gonna shred the pork and whatever we get with the sauce we get. Okay, taking this piece of bone out, see? Just like the meat came right off of it. Don't have to worry about the bone at all. Oh, look at that. So tender.
So are the viewers gonna expect this on the next book?
Oh, absolutely. All right. We probably let this go for about 10 minutes and it's thickened quite nicely. I'm not gonna pour all of it in, but let's just moisten the pork with some of it. It's gonna be good. Mm-hmm. See how the sauce just kind of is absorbed into the pork? I think I can add just a little bit more sauce here. I think that'll do it. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be really tasty with some sweet pickles. Are you all ready for?
Oh yes. The taste. Oh boy, this is looking awesome. Here goes nothing. Hopefully I don't lose the whole sandwich on the plate. You guys don't understand how hard work it is doing the taste. Originally, Flo had set out to the grocery store to get brioche buns, and that was something that she had envisioned. But of course, at the supermarket near us, they don't have brioche buns. And so she picked up the Portuguese buns, which is a crusty roll. And I think that the brioche bun would have been like next level. For mouthfeel, I'm getting a bit thrown off by the crusty bun, the crusty roll. I feel like I have to work too hard through the crusty bun. Now, you may have a different opinion, guys, and whatever your personal preference is, but I think a brioche bun would have taken this up a notch. The flavors of the pork, it's, as you said, it just soaked in all the sauce that you were layering in to the pulled pork. And it's just right in there. And whatever was cooked, the flavor's in there, more flavor with the added sauce. I'm gonna have another bite with the pickles. There we go. I taste the sweetness of the pickles, but dare I say that I'm not picking up any of the jalapenos in there. What do you think of putting in a little bit of sriracha, like a tiny bit?
Yeah, that might be yummy.
Yeah, so you guys might want to consider that too. But again, your personal taste, because once you put in too much heat, you can't take it out. Yep. Otherwise, it's really nice with the slaw, the creaminess of the slaw. So you have the contrast of the creaminess and the sweetness of the sauce and the pickles. Oh, really good.
Thanks, dude. All right, another really simple recipe, and for sure, this is going in the next cookbook that's coming out in September. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel right down here, and check out my current recipe book here, and other recipes off to the side. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.